A $200 jacket feels expensive, but 4 payments of $50 feels almost harmless. That tiny change is the whole magic of buy now, pay later. It does not make the item cheaper, it makes the pain arrive later. And when the future keeps getting sliced into payments, the present starts lying to you. This is why BNPL is becoming one of the most interesting debt stories in modern money. It looks softer than a credit card, cleaner than a payday loan, and easier than saving first. But easy money does not stop being money just because the button looks friendly. To be fair, BNPL is not automatically evil. Used carefully, it can split a planned purchase without interest and help someone manage timing. The problem begins when a payment tool turns into a lifestyle permission slip. So this video is not just about a checkout button. It is about how the economy learned to make debt feel like convenience. BNPL works because it attacks the exact moment when discipline is weakest. You already decided you want the thing. Now the system just needs to make the price feel smaller. 4 payments sounds more manageable than one purchase, even when the total is the same. That is not a financial miracle. That is framing. The old question was, can I afford this item? The new question becomes, can I afford this payment? And once the question changes, behavior changes with it. A purchase that would have felt irresponsible can suddenly feel organized. That is why merchants like BNPL so much. It reduces the pain of paying at the exact moment businesses want you to stop thinking. The product feels closer, the budget feels less real, the sale feels easier. That does not mean every BNPL user is reckless. It means the design is powerful.
The first danger is stacking. One plan is easy to remember. 5 plans from 5 different purchases become a second invisible rent. Each payment looks small alone, but together they start acting like a monthly bill. This is where people get surprised because they did not feel like they were borrowing much. The second danger is timing. Your future self may have rent, groceries, fuel, subscriptions, and another installment waiting on the same week. BNPL makes a promise on behalf of a future month you have not lived yet. Sometimes that future month is fine. Sometimes the car breaks, hours get cut, or a bill arrives early. The third danger is mental accounting. People often track the big debts and forget the tiny promises. But a tiny promise still wants real cash on the due date. The fourth danger is returns and confusion. If the refund is delayed or partial, the payment plan may keep moving while you wait. That friction can turn a simple purchase into a customer service maze. The fifth danger is that BNPL is getting harder to ignore in the credit system. For years, many people treated it like invisible debt. But credit models and lenders are starting to pay more attention to repayment behavior. That can be good if someone pays reliably, but it can hurt if the small payments become missed payments. The trap is that the tool feels casual, while the consequences may become formal. This is why BNPL is not just shopping technology anymore. It is becoming part of how modern consumers are measured. Now, the fair argument for BNPL deserves attention. Some people do use it responsibly.
If you need a laptop for work and can pay the installments safely, it can be a useful bridge. If the plan is truly interest-free and you never miss, it may cost less than carrying a credit card balance. For new borrowers, positive reporting could even help show repayment history. That is the good version. Planned purchase, clear budget, no stacking, no surprises. The bad version is different. It is using installments to make wants look like needs. It is buying because the first payment feels small, not because the full price makes sense. It is stacking payments until payday arrives already spent. It is using future income as a shopping cart. And that is where the debt trap begins. This trap is especially dangerous when life is already unstable. A stable person can absorb a mistake. A strained person gets punished by timing. That is the same pattern we see across money systems. Flexibility is sold most aggressively to people who have the least room for error. The marketing says freedom, the calendar says obligation, and the app rarely asks whether this purchase will still feel smart in 6 weeks. So here is the useful rule. Do not ask if you can afford the payment. Ask if you would still buy the item if you had to pay the full price today. If the answer is no, BNPL is not making it affordable, it is making it emotionally easier. Second rule, never use BNPL for impulse purchases. If you did not plan it before checkout, the installment plan is probably the salesperson talking. Third rule, keep every installment visible in one place. A debt you can't see is the easiest debt to underestimate. Fourth rule, do not stack plans across different apps.
One plan may be manageable. A scattered collection becomes chaos. Fifth rule, be careful using BNPL for basics like groceries or bills. Sometimes emergencies happen and people do what they must. But if essentials regularly need financing, the real problem is not the checkout tool. It is the budget pressure underneath. Sixth rule, check the boring details before clicking. What happens if you return the item? What happens if your card fails? What happens if the provider reports the loan? The boring details are where financial products hide their sharp edges. The bigger lesson is not that BNPL should never be used. The lesson is that payment design changes behavior. When the full price disappears, self-control has to work harder. When the first payment is tiny, the purchase feels smaller than it really is. When approval is instant, reflection feels optional. That is why the best defense is a pause. Not a lecture, not shame, just a pause long enough for the full price to become visible again. If you still want it tomorrow and it fits the budget, the decision is probably cleaner. If the desire disappears, the installment plan was doing the selling. For a healthy user, BNPL is a small scheduling tool. For a stressed user, it can become a way to borrow from every future week at once. That difference matters more than the marketing admits. The economy loves products that feel painless in the moment, but your budget lives after the moment is gone. So the final question is simple. Is this tool helping you plan or helping you pretend? Buy now, pay later is not evil. It is just dangerous when it makes the future feel cheaper than it is. The payment may be split into 4. The responsibility is not.